What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica. We discuss lifestyle and mental health content here on this channel. The theme of this week is all about grief, and the topic of today is around anger. So most of you are probably familiar with the 5 stages of grief. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but there is denial, bargaining, anger, depression, and then acceptance. I know typically when we think about grief, not a lot of people think about anger, but I was talking with my husband about this earlier today, and he said how he can't think of a situation in which anger was not related to grief, wasn't related to some kind of hurt or disappointment. It just brought to mind another saying that's pretty common, that hate is just love disappointed. So the next time you see someone hurting, or the next time you see someone and they seem angry, to remember that they're probably also hurting. Especially when we think about the people that we love, right? If you care about someone and they're going through a change, through the loss of the relationship with someone else, if someone passed away, the loss of a job, or changing schools if it's your kiddo, and they're experiencing change, and you see behavior patterns in them, like they are maybe yelling more or upset or throwing things, and you notice that they're angry, to consider that they might also be hurting and they're showing it in a different way. So what are some of the things that you can do to process through your anger in a healthy way when you're dealing with grief? You know, even though anger is a part of processing grief, we want to make sure that we're doing it in a healthy way. Okay, and this is a quote that I put up earlier today. Some of you might have had a chance to look at it, some of you might not, but it says that even though anger is a common and often necessary part of grief, but it can become dangerous if it persists for too long or too intensely. That emotionally paralyzing grief causes problems and can interfere with everyday functioning in a way that typical grief does not. That if a person can't seem to navigate through grief to acceptance, that they might be experiencing a prolonged grief disorder. That's something you might need to revisit or want to revisit with a mental health care professional, such as a therapist or a psychologist or a counselor. So we understand that anger is one of the stages of grief. It's important to process your anger, but then at the same time we want to make sure that we're doing it in a healthy way so that it doesn't cause more damage later on because we haven't dealt with it. And dealing with anger in relationship to grief can relate to different types of grief as well. And in relationship to anger, you might be grieving over someone that's passed away. You might be grieving over something that happened to you. And then as a result, you're angry. Maybe you're upset with the person that's gone, or the person that wronged you, or a person that crossed a boundary that you had in some way, and you're grieving. And that grief is showing up in the form of anger. How do we move past anger? First, we have to acknowledge what happened. Right? That something happened that crossed a boundary of ours, or something happened and we lost someone that we loved, and that we can't go back into the past and change what happened. But we can make a decision to move forward. If you're dealing with anger in relationship to grief and loss, to forgive the person that has gone out of your life. If you're angry because someone else has crossed a boundary of yours, to forgive yourself. I know that's something too, or often it seems like someone has something traumatic happen to them, and in addition to being angry at the person that committed the violation, sometimes we hold on to our anger because we feel like if we let that go, it means that everything's okay, right? That we're saying the fact that whatever happened doesn't have an effect on us, that we never really missed the person that's gone if we allow ourselves to move forward, or if we allow ourselves to be happy, or if someone wronged you or crossed a boundary in a certain way. If you're not angry, then you're somehow saying that it's okay. When in reality, acknowledging that sometimes bad things happen that are out of our control. And it's okay to forgive yourself for not being able to protect yourself from everything all the time. That it's okay to get your life back. Just because what happened isn't okay doesn't mean that you're never allowed to be okay. Just because what happened is hurtful and painful, you can acknowledge that pain and move forward without being stuck and controlled by that pain. You can move forward in a positive way. If you're grieving someone that you've lost, you can forgive yourself for what happened and forgive them for leaving you, even though that's something that might have been out of their control. But doing that can allow you to move forward for yourself. I love you guys. Yeah. I hope you're being kind to yourself and to others. And yeah, you don't have to be angry. Being angry is a choice. And if give yourself permission to be in control of your emotions, and that also includes letting go of your anger and that hold that anger has over your life. Putting yourself back in the driver's seat of your life by not letting what happened in the past define your present. So, taking your life back, right? If someone's crossed a boundary and that's why you're angry, it's because you lost control. To not continue to let them have that control. That you've already wasted enough of your energy being angry. And that's not your job anymore. Your job is to live your best life for you. And if you're grieving someone that you've lost, you live your best life for you and to honor the person that you've lost. I love you guys. If you guys have any tools that you've used to help you process through anger in relationship to grief and to move forward, we would love to hear from you. Someone else probably needs to hear from you to help them move forward. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.